Okay, in this video we're going to be looking at how free trade can help to lower prices for consumers and some of the benefits it can have for our growth and our living standards. So the increase in international trade due to trade liberalisation and reduction in protection has helped to cause inflation rates to grow at a much slower rate, which has helped to maintain our purchasing power. So if you look at these graphs here, you can see that this is looking at the average rate of exports. So you can see that as global rates of exports increase, so there's more and more exports and imports around the world, as tariff rates have fallen, it's caused a large decrease in inflation. So inflation has gone down significantly with the increase in exports and the decrease in protection. And there's a whole range of different reasons for that. The first one is that we get access to cheaper suppliers. So imports allow Australians to have access to goods and services that are often cheaper and better quality than what they are in Australia. And that allows us also to get access to the best technology from other countries, all of which makes us more productive and helps to lower our costs of production. So trade allows firms to get access to the cheapest imported goods, mobile phones, cars, appliances, etc., which all allows for reduced prices for consumers because they get directly included within the CPI. Imports are often also used in production, so these things we might be just directly consuming, which will help to reduce inflation, but some of these products are used in production, and therefore that can also help to reduce production costs for firms and lower inflation as well. Increased local competition, so not only do we get cheaper imports, but it forces Australian businesses to become more productive in order to compete against foreign products. So there's two reasons why it lowers prices. One, there's more specialisation, so businesses are doing what they're good at, which helps to keep prices down, and therefore resources are being allocated to their most efficient use, which helps boost productivity, but it also promotes competition between firms. There's a greater incentive to be innovative and create new ideas. Two really important things related to trade. More incentive to be innovative, more incentive to come up with new ideas, because we've got to stay on top of our competitors. And now we're in a globalised world, we have competitors all around the world. Reduced market power. If an Australian firm is like an oligopoly or a monopoly that's been able to have market power, they might have been able to restrict output to raise prices, they may have not had to have been as efficient. Now they've got competition from all around the rest of the world. So the increased competition means they have to fight to survive, they have to fight to cut costs, they have to fight to be innovative, to restructure production, to keep up to date with the latest technology, all of which will help them to keep their prices down so that they can remain more competitive. So another reason why it keeps prices down is it boosts market power. It reduces market power, which has benefits for efficiency, productivity, cutting costs, and encouraging firms to be innovative. Increased wage competition. So a lot of countries overseas have got low wage rates. If we reduce protection, we have to compete against those low wage countries. So therefore our wages have to remain quite low as well, and we have to keep our cost structures down. This enables firms to sell their products at a much cheaper price. Economies of scale is another reason why it leads to lower inflation. So we talked about that in the last video. It allows firms to produce on a much bigger scale so they can reduce their fixed costs of production, like advertising, equipment, etc., and therefore they can charge lower prices. So increased wage competition, economies of scale, increased specialisation, lower import prices, the absence of like monopolies and oligopolies, these are all key reasons why free trade helps to reduce inflation. In terms of benefiting our exporters, the free trade allows our exporters access to excess resources and additional incomes. So by specialising in areas of comparative advantage and then trading, it helps to grow the size of a lot of our industries where we have comparative advantage because we can sell to foreign consumers. So mining, for example, employs around 2% of all Australians. However, the flow-on effects from the increased incomes have had a big impact on our whole economy. So it's by specialising in comparative advantage, it can help to open up the amount of income generated in certain areas of production, and that has flown through to benefit other industries via the multiplier effect. Trade boosts GDP and incomes. Again, those who adapt to free trade are likely to become more efficient. More efficient countries are able to maximise their output and maximise their productivity or their output per unit of input. The reasons this occurs, so the reasons why trade boosts GDP and incomes, is one, we specialise in areas of comparative advantage. So we become more efficient, we boost our productive capacity by specialising in what we're good at. That leads to increased real incomes because We have that advantage in that area. It creates jobs, it creates production, and that will help to boost consumption and living standards. So reason one it boosts GDP and incomes is greater efficiency via specialisation and trading to a larger market. Two, economies of scale, again, make us more efficient. Businesses are able to expand, which should lead to higher output and incomes. So we've got access to a larger market, we're making more profit because of the lower production costs. That can help businesses to expand and hire more people. Innovation, higher levels of global competition will encourage increased innovation in new technology. It also gives them access to more technology as well. This will help to boost efficiency and boost the nation's productive capacity, which can also lead to increased real GDP. Imports of capital, again, they can be used, high quality capital from overseas, technologically advanced capital can be used as well to try and boost our productive capacity and boost efficiency within markets. Trade can also create jobs, so overall free trade helps to lower the unemployment rate. Increased efficiency helps lower production costs, which means businesses become more profitable. So when businesses are more profitable, they're more likely to expand, and businesses that expand create jobs, which reduces unemployment. So 1 in 4 jobs in Australia is generated via exports. The faster we are able to grow, the more efficient we are, the more jobs stay in Australia, and the more profitable businesses are, so they're more willing to produce. It is worth mentioning, though, that in the short term, free trade can increase structural unemployment. Firms are likely to perhaps relocate to low-wage countries to maximise their profits. It may mean that some people get substituted for machines because it's more efficient and productive. It can also mean that some jobs will move offshore because we're no longer competitive, and therefore they won't be able to, they'll close down in those industries because they can't compete with the lower prices from overseas. So it can have some negatives, but overall it should boost our employment, in areas where we have comparative advantage, and overall should boost our living standards. Trade enables access to more resources. So some countries have an abundance of capital resources and access to cheap finance, while others have access to really good natural resources and quality land resources or quality labour. Trade allows a country to trade one for the other. So the things that they can't produce themselves, they will get from other countries as a lower price as possible. So trade gives businesses increased access to resources. The quantity and quality of resources should increase. That should allow the government to collect more tax because the size of our business is increasing, which can also be used to boost our non-material living standards by investing in transport and education and health. Lastly, trade creates greater consumer choice. We get access to products from all over the world. It can promote peace because countries are less likely to go to war if they're trading with each other because they rely on each other for their economic progress. And it enriches culture because we get access to and more knowledge of cultures all around the world. Thank you.